What is the difference between MongoDB server and MongoDB database? Before MongoDB database, we should have some idea about MongoDB server also. MongoDB server is a software application which is installed on a physical machine, and its job is to manage the multiple MongoDB databases like this. Clear? Whereas one MongoDB database is a logical container within the MongoDB server that stores the collections of documents. Okay, so the same thing is written here also about them. Mostly we will talk about the MongoDB database only. But if someone is talking about MongoDB server, then now you know what exactly it is, right? How to install and run a MongoDB server? What is a MongoDB Compass? This is not an interview question, but if you are new to MongoDB, then quickly do these steps. And if you already know this, then you can just skip this question. This is not important from interview point of view. Okay. So first search MongoDB installation on Google and then open this community link like this. From here, select package and select Windows or Linux as per your requirements, and then downloads this software. After downloading, double click this setups like any other setups and this window will open. Now maybe you will find the latest version here, but that doesn't matter. The basics are always same. Okay. Now do next and install it like you will install any other software. During installation, it will ask you to install the MongoDB Compass. So just install that also. Okay. So what is MongoDB Compass? It is just a tool by which developers like us can view the MongoDB database and can work with it. Okay. Finally, after installing the MongoDB database and Compass, open the MongoDB Compass software like this in your system. Here, this local host with this port 27017 and this prefix MongoDB is the URL of your MongoDB server. Okay, so we will use this URL in our application to just connect with this MongoDB server and the database. That is the purpose of this. Is like an address, like you have your Node API address in the same way. All right, now just press the connect button, and like this your MongoDB server is now up, running and connected. Okay, and now we will see how to create database in next question. How to create a database and collection in MongoDB server. So in previous question we connected to the MongoDB server and via MongoDB Compass. Now after connection, here on the screen click again. This is not an interview question, so if you know how to create database then you can skip, but yes, wait, just like you can watch for it. It's very short answer I will give. So here just click this plus icon in the Compass MongoDB Compass tool, and it's a sign of a new database for your application. Pop-up will appear like this. Here put the database name and your first collection name, users, which is like the table name in your database, and press the create database button. Okay, so finally like this is your database and user collections. You can add more collections here by using this plus icon next to the my database database. Now if you click on users collection, then here are the details of the users collection, and here you can see the documents are there. You can insert more documents by using the add data, and you can update and delete also those documents. Okay, but yes, in real applications we create only collections from here, from this Compass, and for the CRUD operations like creating, reading, updating, deleting documents, we do it from the code side, the application side. Okay, we do not do it from here. Okay, those CRUD operations very easy, very simple. I will cover in the upcoming question. Okay, so all right, now you know some 4 things. First, how to install the MongoDB server and MongoDB Compass. Second, how to connect to the server. and make server up and running. Third, how to create the database, Fourth, finally, how to create the collection in the database. Very, very basic things. All these are the setup related question. These are not, nobody will ask you in the interview basically. But yes, now we will check the interview related questions. What are CRUD operations in MongoDB? CRUD is a very general term and is used in almost all the databases and technologies. Here are our 4 letters of CRUD. C stands for creating, meaning creating and inserting new documents or records in a MongoDB collections. Okay. R stands for read, meaning reading or retrieving the data, getting the data from the MongoDB collection. Then U stands for update, meaning how to update or modify existing documents inside the MongoDB collection. And D stands for delete, meaning how to delete or remove documents from the MongoDB collection. Okay, so quickly I will show in 4 upcoming questions how to do each and every operation from the Node.js application to perform these operations in the MongoDB database. Okay, and before that, here is written what I already explained about these CRUD operations. Very simple things, right? How to connect MongoDB server from Node.js application. Before performing CRUD operations from Node.js to MongoDB, we must set up the connection between these two. Okay, so for that we have 7 steps. So this I will tell you only once, this connection, and later when I will doing the CRUD operation, then I will not doing this set connection again and again. Okay, we will use this file only, the code only which I am showing here. Okay, so first install MongoDB in your Node.js application. That is the first step, very much basic. And here is the command npm install MongoDB that will install the MongoDB. Second, create a separate file for MongoDB connection like this. This is the mongo.js file. This file will only do connection. Okay, and there import MongoDB package which you just installed, and then you will create a class that is assigned to this Mongo client variable. This you have package assigned to this Mongo client. Now if you remember, like this, we have a URL of the MongoDB server, right? With the database, my database name also I have written here. You can keep it separate also, depends on you. Now after that, as a third step, we will create the client object of this Mongo client class by passing this URL as the argument. Okay, great. Now we have the MongoDB client server instance ready, which is present at this URL. Now we will use this client to do any action or operation on the MongoDB database. First, we will connect to the database. For that, you can create one function, and in this connect to MongoDB function, and inside this function you will call the connect function of this client object to connect to the MongoDB server and database. So this means now our server is connected. This is the most important thing. Then we call the DB function of the client object to get the DB instance of database. Basically we will get the DB instance, and if with this DB, after that only return what this instance will return, that with that object we will perform the CRUD operations. I will show you. Okay, so and listen carefully here. Whenever from any other file in this application you have to perform any operation on this database, then from that file we will call this reusable function to connect. This is because we are exporting it here, right? Down you can see we are exporting this function, and this DB instance which is written from here, as I said, so that will be used to do the operations. Okay, and yes, I have created this single mongo.js file to connect to the database. and we will use it throughout the application all the time whenever we need to connect and perform any operation on the database. I'm not going to create it again and again in upcoming question. Okay, great. Finally, the one line answer to this question is MongoDB can be connected from Node by calling the connect method of the Mongo client class. Okay, the answer is very short, but you should know the implementation. Okay, but then from there only the confidence will come. But yes, the short answer is this only, and that's the answer to this question. How to create or insert a record in MongoDB via Node.js. So like this is the first CRUD operation, and we will quickly implement it. To create insert record, first we have to connect to the MongoDB server, right? If you remember, we exported the connect to MongoDB method from the mongo.js file, which will connect to the server, right, in previous question. So that method for connection we will get here in this variable like this. Okay, now inside the main method, first we will call the above method, okay, to make the connection to the MongoDB server. And if you remember, this method was returning a database object also, which we will receive in this database variable database. Okay, through this database object we will first get the user collection in this collection variable by calling the collection function of this database instance. Now listen carefully. Then we will call the insert one method of this collection object to insert one document inside the MongoDB database user collection. So we are inserting the record inside the collection. That's why we needed this collection which we get above. Okay. All right. The key values of the document you can pass as the parameter here, name, happy, whatever. Now that's it. Okay, now when you will call this main function like this, you can put this try catch for error handling. That's a separate topic. But yes, then you can just call the main function, and as a result MongoDB will send the response here, which will have the new inserted ID at the bottom. Okay, because one record inserted, so one ID will be generated by the MongoDB database, which we are logging here by this console in our code. That's why it is showing at the bottom. Okay, so that is the whole idea of the insertion. Finally, as I said, the short answer is to insert and record in MongoDB, use the insert one method on a collection object, right? Okay, that's the answer. How to read or select a record in MongoDB via Node.js. This is the second CRUD operation, and it's very easy and simple. For reading the documents, 90% of the steps are same as those for inserting. First, get the connect to MongoDB connection function from the mongo.js file. Then call this method and assign the return database object to this database variable. Then use this database object to get the user collection from the database. So until now everything is same as inserting the record, right? After this, call the find one method and pass the condition, or you can say the filter criteria as per which you want to get the documents. Okay, so I want all the documents of name happy. Okay, great. And as a result you will get the user here, and below you can call the method, and here see we get read and the selected user, which I printed in the console also. Okay, very simple read operation, find one. Short answer is also there. To select a single record in MongoDB by Node.js, use the find one method on a collection object. Okay, short answer is required for the revision. If we don't remember all the steps, it's fine, but we should remember the main thing at least. Otherwise we don't know the answer actually, right? How to update a record in MongoDB via Node.js. This is the third CRUD operation, and again the first few steps are very similar like create and reading operation. See, here we are calling the connect MongoDB function of the MongoJS file to connect the MongoDB server. Then we are getting the collection. Now to update an existing document or record in this collection, we will use this code. Here we are calling this update one method to update. Okay, so it accepts two parameters. First, the filter criteria, and second, update. Filter means the criteria for selecting the records on which the update will happen. Okay, and update means updating the selected records with this updated data mentioned above. Okay, so as a result, the existing document with the filter name John Doe, his age will be updated and set to 31 now. Okay, so that's how the update will work. And in the console you can see one record is updated in the database. Finally, short answer: to update a record in MongoDB via Node.js, use the update one method on a collection object. How to delete a record in MongoDB via Node.js? This is the last CRUD operation. For this, first establish the connection with the MongoDB server. Now to delete a document, first you have to set the filter criteria like this, and then simply call this delete one method of the collection object and pass the above filter as the argument. Okay, now when you run this main method, then as a result the document with this name John Doe will be deleted from the collection. Okay, and here in console you can see one document has been deleted from the collection. That's the short answer. Very short answer, right? Great. One line answer is to delete, you can use delete one method on a collection object, and that's it. How to insert, select, update and delete multiple records in MongoDB via Node.js? This is a very important question from the interview point of view. Okay, here we have the CRUD operation like this. To perform them, until now we were using these methods: insert one, find one, update one and delete one. Okay, and as their name suggests, all these methods can insert, select, update or delete only and only one record at a time. Insert will insert one record, select will select one record. So that is the purpose of them. Okay, meaning a single record is impacted. Similarly, we have other methods of the collection object that can insert, find, update and delete multiple records, and here are they. Nothing special here, and you can only understand by their names only that they are meant to impact multiple records in the database, right? Great. Now their code is almost similar to single record methods only, and here is the code. First we are setting up the connection with the server URL, DB name and collection name. Then we are creating client instance of the Mongo client class. Then first we are connecting by this instance, and then we get the database object and then the collection object. This all we already performed earlier also, right? Then first we are performing the insert of these multiple records by using the insert many method like this. Nothing special. Then we are selecting multiple records by using the find method, and here we will get a list which we are first converting to an array, and then we can use it, iterate the records. Okay, then we are updating multiple records by using the update many method, and yes, update one will update only one record, and that is the first record which matches the filter criteria. Okay, but update many will update all the documents records in the collection as per the filter criteria. And finally, delete multiple records, we will use delete many method like this. The code is super simple and there is nothing much to explain here. If you want to try this, just understand and use this code and you will get the same result, and that is the answer to this question.